Hello guys, and welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to continue Iron Man. This is how far we got the last time. So it's going to be, yeah, continuation of what we started. So sorry that I started 1 hour earlier today than what I usually do. I just have some stuff coming up later today that I have to do, so that's why. But yeah, let's start scrolling. I'll continue with the hand, I guess, and we'll just continue from there. Do some small parts first, and then do the bigger ones. Like I said before, this is a part of a bigger picture that I'm working on with the Avengers. So yeah, this is just one part of a bigger picture. So I'm going to show you guys the picture that we're working on, the full picture. So it's this one that we're working on, and right now we're doing this one, and we have done the Hulk. So it's going to be a fairly big picture, pretty cool. And I'm doing all the original Avengers. So yeah, this is a handmade picture done on a scroll saw. I don't work with laser or anything like that. Everything is cut out by hand, so that's the deal. You kind of see starting on this hand right now. So yeah, there's not that much left, but there are details, so it will take some time. I have said it before, I do recommend scroll sawing to people who want to get into woodworking, because it's one of the most safest way that you can work with wood in many ways. So the other characters that we're gonna cut out is gonna be Captain America. We're gonna do Thor, and it's gonna be Hawkeye and Black Widow. I was just looking at this picture to remember who it was. It's like, I don't remember. So yeah. Hello Nanny, nice to see you. I'm sorry that we started a little bit earlier today than we usually do, but I just got some stuff I gotta do later, so that's why. Just continue cutting out small pieces. And that's because it's a lot more safe, because you know, if you start with the outlines or whatever, then it's so much easier to break stuff off. So that's why I'm working my way towards the edges. If anyone has any questions for me, just let me know and I'll try to answer them. Or if you want me to play music instead of talking, I don't know. Sometimes I try to involve you guys a little bit and try to talk about the process and not just play music. But it's always easier for me to just play music. So, you know, whatever sort of you guys want, I'm up for. I am Norwegian, if anyone is wondering about that. I started doing this for about three and a half years ago now, when I was in an accident at work. I'm originally a lorry driver, but I had an accident at work, so I've had an operation on my leg 2 times. So I started doing this as a hobby, not just to get stuck in front of the TV all the time. And now I'm live streaming because it's fun. If you're interested in seeing some of my earlier work, then I would suggest following me on or checking me out on Instagram. There you can kind of see what other sort of things I've done. It's just my name. So that's probably the best way to see my stuff. My website is not very updated. Again, I'm just working on the hand. There's a couple of small details here that I'm not gonna cut out, and it's because it's not really important for what I'm doing. I'm doing a picture that's gonna be a part of a lot of or a bigger picture. So if it was only a standalone picture, I would absolutely cut out everything. But I'm not gonna do. It's not. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's not really needed, you know. This picture is coming along pretty nicely. Hello Splash Bee, nice to see you. This is how far we have gotten. I started streaming a little bit earlier today because of I have some stuff I gotta do later on, that's why. Working on the fingers now. By the way, I just started. Oh, there's some questions. What the fuck? This is crazy. Thank you. Oh, it's just woodworks. It's a scroll saw project. So yeah, working on Iron Man. It's going to be a part of this picture. So we're doing all the Avengers, all the original ones, and making a pretty cool big picture. Dare I call it an artwork? I don't know. You guys decide if it's art or not. To me, it's fun. By the way, I just discovered when the new market, or when the next market is going to be. So it's, I believe it was the 26th of July. So that's how much time we have to work or to make new stuff before we try to sell some stuff again. How you learn to do this? I bought a machine basically, and I watched some YouTube videos. That's basically what I did, and I've been doing it for 3 years now. I would recommend going out and buy a cheap scroll saw and test it out. It's not a dangerous machine to work with, and you can make some pretty cool stuff and even make some money if you're interested in doing that. I should probably say though that everything I do, which is handmade like this, you can do with a CNC machine and you can do with a laser. But I do think that there are some value in handmade products. So yeah, we are done with both hands now. We're gonna start with the last part here. So again, starting with smaller parts and, you know, just being careful. So yeah, I don't know if I said it earlier today, but I've been working on a scroll saw for about 3.5 years, and we've been streaming since January. Thank you, Nanny. Sorry for not really being able to showing you exactly how all the pieces looks now. Something about the lighting from this, you know. This is by just outside, so sorry for blinding you guys. If you ever wondered what was behind there, it's basically my garage door. What happens if you make a mistake? It depends on the mistake, but if you make a big mistake, then you have to start over. But you might be able to, well, the general rule, if you make a mistake, then, you know, you have to start over. But it's not too bad, I think. If I was gonna give any suggestion, is that when you start, then start with big pieces and dull the blade a little bit before going into detailed works. Because if you don't dull the blade at all, then it's very, very easy to make a mistake. When you have a new blade, it's like cutting in butter. It's really, really hard to be precise then. So, yeah. So yeah, I probably should say that I do have a professional saw. So if you do end up getting a scroll saw, then the difference between a professional saw and a starting saw is that this whole thing, basically, this whole blade thing right here, being able to switch blades so fast. That's the difference really between a professional saw and a cheap one. And also vibrations from the saw. There's a lot more vibrations from inexpensive saw, and you might have to do a couple of oil stuff that you don't have to do with this, just to keep the gears good, basically. Oh, I'm gonna do one small thing here I forgot. But getting a starting or a cheap, inexpensive saw, and then if you really like it after like a year, then do what I do, buy a more professional one, and then you can really get be more efficient. Efficient, is that the word? I don't know if I pronounced that right. You know, with what you're making, make more products basically, or you know, whatever you're doing. Thank you, Nanny. So this is how it looks so far. Done with, almost done with one leg. Not that much left. Oh, not that one. This, I really want to have the other one just for safety. This is a bigger piece. now we can cut out the small piece. It's a little bit more safer. I'm not entirely sure what you're writing, Nenny, but I appreciate it. Okay, so now we're done with one leg. Turning out cool. Next time I think I'm gonna do Hawkeye, and there's a specific reason for that. I'll show you guys later when we, you know, put the pieces not together, but I'll show you. Yeah, still just cutting out small pieces. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces left, I think. Keep grinding them away. To say, there's nothing to do with what I'm doing, but I just started using GPT, and now I'm using it for everything. Like, it's awesome. I love it. Do you guys use that? I use it for like everything. Like every time I wonder about anything. Two more, one really big one. This one is actually going to be a bit scary. Show you what's scary about it. Okay, so now we're gonna do the last piece, and this piece, like you can see that it's very close to the edge here. So if I follow this black thing, then this piece will basically go together with the hole I just cut out. So I do have to now not be a slave to the lines and go a little bit into the white, just to make it enough so that it doesn't fall off. So it won't really change the image much, but it's just one of those things where I usually say that don't be a slave to the, you know, the design itself. You know, try to work a little bit on the go, because sometimes that's it's not a mistake per se. It's more of a if the line you cut out, it's not thick enough, it's not really as good as if it's thicker. Hey, comment. So it's a good idea to do that. Anyway, this is the last piece that we're cutting out. There we go. Think this is good? Yeah. All done. Cool. Now I just gotta get this stuff off, and we're not gonna oil this one because we're gonna do all of that at the end when all of the pieces are done and everything. So we're gonna sand it down a little bit, and that's that. It's one of those pictures that will make sense at the end when we've done all the pieces. This part is gonna take some time, so let me turn on some music for you guys while I do this. Oh, come on, work with me.
never sleep. I feel my spirit hollow in this dream of chrome and steel. Wires twist and tangle in a dance of sparks of light. My heart begins to strangle in the neon of the night. We are the last resistance against the digital tide. In the void of persistence, our humanity will survive. The signal's getting stronger, every pulse a deadly beat, as the nights grow ever longer in this city of concrete. Wires twist and tangle in a dance of sparks of light. My heart begins to strangle in the neon of the night. We are the last resistance against the digital tide. In the void of persistence, our humanity will survive. Break the chains, reclaim the night. In the heart of this machine, feel the power, feel the fight. In this world of cold and need, we are the last resistance against the digital tide. In the void of persistence, our humanity will survive. Break the chains, reclaim the night. In the heart of this machine, feel the power, feel the fight. In this world of cold and mean, we are the last resistance against the digital tide. In the void of persistence,
Okay guys, done with another picture. Let me show you. So, okay. So this is the second part of the picture that we're working with. The Avengers. So this is the first one. This is the second one. And I'm gonna show you how it's going to look. So this is what we're gonna make. So if I do something like this, I'll bring you guys over here. Obviously, this is going to be cut out later so that it makes sense. You can kind of get a feel for it if I do it like this. So maybe if I do this, you kind of get a feel for it. So I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty cool picture in the end. So we got some work to do though. But yeah, then we can do this. We've done another one. So the next one I'm thinking is maybe doing this one. So we can sort of put this corner and start putting things together maybe. Or we'll do the Avengers. We're gonna cut out every letter to sort of make it all pop. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Thank you so much to everyone who has been watching the stream today. Please subscribe if you're interested in whatever I'm doing as far as scroll sewing goes, and yeah, everything. So that's cool. Oh my god, this is so... I didn't even notice this. Has it been like this the whole stream? There we go. So yeah, I'll show you guys again. Finished product today. Why am I wearing this now? Iron Man. They're not pretty cool. It's a lot of details. And this one we did last time. The Hulk. So next time it'll probably be one of these. So we do have Captain America left. We have this one. This one has some small details, so this is going to be somewhat scary to do actually. This one is a big chance of failure. And this one. And then Thor. This one also has a lot of details right here and also on the hammer. So, but I think it's going to be cool in the end. Yeah, again, thank you so much to everyone who keeps supporting what I'm doing, and please subscribe and check me out on Instagram if you want to see some of my other projects. And I'll see you probably, if I get time, Friday, but no Saturday this time because it's Norwegian, what is it called? Constitution Day, I believe it's called. So, so that's why. But again, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys. Oh yeah, Iron Man!